Hashtag what to do after a fall, 5 steps every senior should know. Opening, hook, Dr. Howard Tucker *. Imagine this. You're 78 years old. You're at home. You're feeling fine. You walk toward the mailbox, reach for an envelope, and suddenly, you hit the ground. First you think, I'm okay. Then you try to get up. Nothing. Your mind is awake. You know exactly what you want your body to do. But your arms and legs seem to have stopped listening. And now you're lying there alone. 10 minutes pass. 20. 30. Nobody comes. That isn't just frightening. For an older adult, those minutes can become dangerous. Last winter, one of my patients, a 78-year-old woman named Elenina, slipped while reaching for her mailbox. She wasn't badly injured at first, but she couldn't get herself back up. She remained on the ground for nearly 40 minutes before someone found her. By the time she reached the hospital, her body temperature had fallen below 95 degrees. But what stayed with me wasn't the fall. It was what she told me afterward. I didn't know what to do. Panicked. It felt like my own body had stopped listening. And that's the part almost nobody teaches. We spend so much time talking about preventing falls, but what happens after the fall? What should you do during those first few minutes? Should you immediately try to stand? Should you roll over? Should you call for help? And what if you're alone? Today, we're going to walk through 5 simple actions designed to help you stay calm, assess yourself, and when it is safe, begin recovering from the ground. No complicated equipment. No gym. No heroic effort. Just controlled breathing, awareness, positioning, and patience. Because sometimes the most important thing you can do after a fall is nothing at all. At least not yet. Hashtag why the body can lock up after a fall. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara *. That's exactly where we need to begin. Because many people assume the biggest danger is the impact itself. But sometimes the body's reaction after the impact can create another problem. I've had patients describe it in almost the same words. My mind was awake, but my body wouldn't move. And there's a reason for that. When the brain suddenly detects danger, the nervous system can trigger a powerful protective response. Heart rate can change. Blood pressure can change. Muscles can become tense. And the body can essentially hit the brakes. It's almost like nature has pressed a giant pause button. The problem is that an older person may already have less physiological reserve. So that pause can become frightening. And fear creates another problem. You panic. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles tighten. Your movements become stiff. And suddenly you're caught in a vicious cycle. Fear creates tension. Tension makes movement harder. Harder movement creates more fear. I've heard patients say, Doctor, I knew I needed to move, but I couldn't. Dr. Howard Tucker *. So what breaks that cycle? Because this is where the story gets interesting. You might assume the first step is to get up. But it isn't. Dr. Hinohara *. Exactly. The first step is your breath. Hashtag step 1. Control your breath. Dr. Howard Tucker *. Before you move a muscle, regain control of your breathing. Why? Because panic changes the way your entire body behaves. So instead of immediately trying to stand, slow everything down. Take a controlled breath through your nose. Then make the exhale longer and slower. Again, slow breath in, long breath out. You're not trying to force anything. You're telling your nervous system, the emergency is happening, but I am still in control. Dr. Hinohara *. Exactly. Think of it like rebooting a computer after it crashes. You don't start pressing every button at once. You allow the system to stabilize first. The same principle applies here. Slow down, breathe, regain awareness, then decide what comes next. And that's important because many people think courage means moving quickly. After a fall, courage can mean doing the opposite. Being patient. Hashtag step 2. The Stillness Check. Dr. Howard Tucker *. Now you've slowed your breathing. The panic is beginning to settle. What's next? This is where many people make their biggest mistake. They immediately try to push themselves upright. And that can be exactly the wrong thing to do. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. Right? The first couple of minutes should be about listening to your body. We can think of this as a stillness check. Don't suddenly twist your head or torso. Stay where you are. Close your eyes briefly and ask yourself 3 questions. How is my breathing? Where does it hurt? Do I know where I am and what just happened? That last question is extremely important. Are you alert? Do you know where you are? Can you remember the fall? Do you feel confused? Are you dizzy? If you are disoriented or experiencing significant dizziness, don't force yourself up. Stay down and seek help. Dr. Howard Tucker asterisk. That's counterintuitive. Most people want to prove. Asterisco aim fine. Let me get up. Asterisk. But after a fall, proving you're fine isn't the goal. Staying safe is the goal. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. Exactly. Patience can be protective. And if you are stable, you can begin a very gentle check. Start small. Move your fingers. Then your toes. Can you move them? Do you notice sharp pain? Numbness? Tingling? Then slowly work upward. Wrists, ankles, knees, arms, legs. You're not testing how strong you are. You're gathering information. And you're giving your brain a chance to reconnect with the body. Hashtag Step 3. The Roll and Rise Method. Dr. Howard Tucker asterisk. Now we reach the question many people watching this have probably asked themselves. What if I fall and nobody is there? How do I get up? This is where rushing can turn a manageable situation into a worse one. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. Exactly. If you've checked yourself and you have no severe pain, no major dizziness, and no confusion, the next movement must be slow and controlled. We call this the roll and rise method. First, bend one knee slowly. Choose the side that feels more comfortable. Then gently roll onto your side. Use your arm to support your head if needed. And then, pause. Don't rush the next movement. Take another breath. Ask yourself, asterisk, is the room spinning? Asterisk. Asterisk, do I feel stable? Asterisk. If you do, continue slowly. Bring your upper body forward. Move onto your elbow and forearm. Then place both hands on the ground. Now bring one leg forward. You are moving toward a hands and knees position. Dr. Howard Tucker asterisk. It almost sounds like you're going backward. From standing to the floor, then back through crawling, before standing again. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. And that's precisely why it works as a controlled movement pattern. Instead of demanding that your entire body lift itself at once, you're distributing the load. You're moving gradually. Hands, knees, support, then standing. Once you're on all fours, look for something stable. A sturdy chair, a strong couch, a bed, something that won't slide away from you. Move toward it slowly. Place your hands firmly on the stable surface. Then bring your strongest leg forward. Keep the foot flat. Keep breathing. And gradually shift your weight. Don't jerk upward. Don't twist suddenly. Don't try to prove how strong you are. Move from one stable position to another. Floor, hands and knees, half kneeling, standing. Dr. Howard Tucker asterisk. So the secret isn't brute strength. The sequence. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. Exactly. Sequence beats panic. And there's another small detail that matters. Once you're standing, don't immediately walk away. Hold the support. Look toward the horizon rather than staring down at the floor. Take a breath. And give your body a moment to adjust. Because standing up isn't the finish line. It's only halfway through the process. Hashtag Step 4. The first 10 to 15 minutes after you stand. Dr. Howard Tucker asterisk. This may be the part most people never think about. They finally stand. They think, asterisk, great. I'm okay. Asterisk. And they start walking. But the danger may not be completely over. Dr. Hinohara asterisk. Correct. When you move from the floor to standing, your circulation has to adjust. And some older adults can experience dizziness or weakness during that transition. That's why I recommend what I call the pause and pulse check. Once you've reached a stable surface, stop. Sit down if possible or keep a secure hold. Stay there for a moment. Take 3 slow breaths. Then gently feel your pulse at your wrist or neck. You're not trying to perform a medical examination. You're simply paying attention. Does your heartbeat feel unusually fast? Erratic? Weak? Do you feel faint? If so, don't push through it. Sit or lie back down safely. Dr. Howard Tucker *. That's a phrase I want everyone to remember. Stability first. Pride second. ***. You don't get extra points for pretending you're fine. Dr. Hinohara ***. Exactly. Your body doesn't care about pride. Cares about stability. And then there's another basic thing people overlook. Hydration. If you've been on the ground for a while and you're stressed, a few small sips of water may be helpful if you're fully alert and able to drink safely. Not a huge amount all at once. Just small sips. And if you've been lying on a cold floor, warmth matters too. A blanket, a shawl, something to help you stay warm. If someone arrives to help, their first instinct may be to grab you and pull you up. But that's not necessarily what you need. You need calm. You need warmth. You need hydration when appropriate. And you need someone talking to you. #Why talking after a fall matters. Dr. Howard Tucker ***. That last point is fascinating. Why does conversation matter? Dr. Hinohara **. Because staying mentally oriented is important. Talk about what happened. Say where you are. Say what time it is. Explain what you're feeling. You're helping yourself remain mentally engaged instead of drifting into confusion after the shock. So the sequence becomes: breathe, check your body, move carefully, pause, hydrate when appropriate, stay warm, stay oriented. And only then should you decide what medical help is necessary. And this part is extremely important. If you have significant pain, bruising, a headache, vision changes, confusion, or other concerning symptoms, seek medical help promptly. And even if you think you're okay, contacting your healthcare professional after a fall can be wise because some injuries aren't immediately obvious. #Step 5. Don't let fear become your next fall. Dr. Howard Tucker **. Now here's something I think is even more important than the fall itself. The fall ends. The bruises fade. But sometimes, the fear doesn't. I've heard older adults say, "Doctor, I don't trust my legs anymore." And that's heartbreaking, because they start moving less. They stop going outside. They avoid stairs. They stop gardening. They become afraid of showering alone. And something strange happens. The fear that was supposed to protect them can eventually make them weaker. Dr. Hinohara **. Exactly. That's one of the cruel cycles of aging. Fear makes you move less. Moving less can reduce strength and confidence. Less confidence creates more fear. And suddenly the person isn't just recovering from the original fall. They're recovering from the fear of falling again. Your nervous system remembers danger. When it expects another fall, your muscles can become tense. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your steps become stiff. And balance can become harder. So rebuilding confidence isn't a luxury. It's part of recovery. #The secret. Micro-movements. Dr. Howard Tucker **. So how do you rebuild that confidence? Do you need an intense workout? Do you need a gym? Do you need expensive equipment? Dr. Hinohara **. No. Start smaller. I call them micro-movements of safety. Small movements that teach the brain, I can move, and I can be safe. For example, before standing, place one hand on a stable surface. Then gently shift your weight from heel to toe. Slowly. 5 times. You're not trying to become an athlete. You're sending information to your brain. We're moving. We're stable. We're safe. And confidence isn't something you simply wait to feel. It's something you can rebuild through repetition. #3 simple movements to rebuild confidence. Dr. Howard Tucker **. Give us 3 movements people can remember. Dr. Hinohara **. The first is the wall glide. Stand with your back against a wall. Keep your feet slightly forward. Then slide down just a small amount. Hold briefly, and slowly return to standing. The movement is gentle. The goal isn't exhaustion. It's control. The second is the chair reach. Sit tall in a sturdy chair. Reach one arm forward, then the other. It seems almost too simple, but you're challenging the muscles that help maintain an upright posture during everyday movements. Reaching for something, turning, looking behind you, moving through your home. And the third is the ankle roll. While seated, gently rotate your ankles several times in one direction, then reverse. The goal is controlled movement and mobility. These exercises aren't supposed to exhaust you. They're supposed to educate your body. Hashtag your mind can help your body. Dr. Howard Tucker *. There's another part of this that I really like. It's mental. Dr. Hinohara *. Yes. Before standing or walking, try a simple mental anchor. Silently tell yourself, my body is stable. My breath is calm. That shifts your attention away from fear and toward control. Your thoughts can influence muscle tension and posture. And that's why consistency matters. You don't need to spend an hour doing these movements. Even a few minutes practiced consistently can become part of a routine. The goal isn't one heroic workout. The goal is repetition. Day after day. Small movement, calm breathing, better awareness, greater confidence. Hashtag the bigger message. Dr. Howard Tucker *. And that's what I think makes this conversation so powerful. Recovering from a fall isn't just about getting your muscles stronger. It's about getting your freedom back. Freedom to walk. Freedom to shower. Freedom to go into your garden. Freedom to visit your family. Freedom to live without constantly thinking, what if I fall? Dr. Hinohara *. Exactly. And I tell my patients something I want everyone listening to remember. You are not fragile. You are adaptable. Aging doesn't erase resilience. It simply means we have to practice it intentionally. Every controlled movement matters. Every calm breath before standing matters. Every safer choice at home matters. Every time you move without panic, you're reminding your brain, my body can still do this. Hashtag final message. The moment that changes everything. Dr. Howard Tucker *. So perhaps the biggest lesson from today's conversation isn't actually about falling. It's about rising. Because aging doesn't necessarily take away our ability to rise. Sometimes, it simply asks us to rise differently. Think about the sequence. Breathe, assess, move, balance, recover. Once you understand that rhythm, the floor stops being something you automatically fear. It becomes something you know how to return from when it is safe to do so. Dr. Hinohara *. And I would add one more thing. Falling is not failure. A fall is information. It's your body telling you, something needs your attention, maybe it's your balance, maybe your strength, maybe your home environment, maybe your confidence. But instead of responding with panic, respond with awareness. I've seen people in their 90s regain independence after serious setbacks because they learned to trust their bodies again. And trust is one of the foundations of living well as we age. Hashtag the takeaway. Dr. Howard Tucker *. We didn't make this episode to scare you. We made it to prepare you. Because safety isn't luck. Safety is knowledge. Knowing how to breathe. Knowing when to stay still. Knowing how to assess yourself. Knowing how to move carefully. Knowing when to ask for help. And knowing how to rebuild confidence afterward. These aren't just emergency skills. They're life skills. And the best part? You can practice many of these principles before you ever need them. A little preparation today can change how you respond when life surprises you tomorrow. Dr. Hinohara *. That's what we call living with readiness instead of fear. You don't practice because you expect something terrible to happen. You practice so that if something unexpected happens, you can respond instead of react. Hashtag your challenge today. Dr. Howard Tucker *. So here's your challenge. Don't wait for a fall to start preparing. Today, practice one calm breath before you stand. Practice one controlled shift of weight. Look around your home. Is there a loose rug? A dark hallway? A cluttered pathway? A slippery bathroom surface? Fix one thing. Just one. Because every small moment of awareness is training. And one day, that training might help you. Or it might help someone you love. Dr. Hinohara *. And remember, recovery doesn't end when you stand. Recovery begins when you decide. You are not broken. The body often follows what the mind believes is possible. #closing. Dr. Howard Tucker *. If you've ever been afraid of falling, let today be your turning point. Not because you're going to ignore the risk, but because you're going to understand it. You're going to prepare. You're going to move with intention. And you're going to rebuild your confidence one small movement at a time. Because the goal isn't simply to survive a fall. The goal is to keep living, to keep walking, to keep moving, to keep gardening, to keep laughing with your family, to keep doing the things that make life yours. Dr. Hinohara *. Stay curious, stay prepared, and above all, stay confident, because the power to rise again has always been within you. Dr. Howard Tucker *. And perhaps that's the most important lesson of all. You don't have to be fearless to keep moving forward. You simply need to know what to do when fear arrives. And sometimes, the first step forward is just one calm breath.